Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Maxandjuancast. Max,
What's up?
we back at it, bro.
Oh, we are back at it.
We back at it today. We're doing edges, okay? A little bit different face to face. I feel like I'm interrogating you. You're interrogating me. You talking shit about my list already.
I am. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always.
But that's draft season for you, bro.
It is draft season.
Welcome to the channel, guys. Trying something new, like always, over here at the Maxandjuancast. We got a couple cameras going. I got my solo. Max got his solo. Then we got the main camera. Okay? So don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. All that good stuff. Today is edges. Max, do you want to take a look back at last year's edges?
I would like to. Do you remember them? I had this conversation with Jim, like, who are the edges from last year again?
So Trayvon Walker.
Oh, yeah. Aiden Hutchinson.
And Aiden Hutchinson.
They
went one in...
I don't think
two.
but I don't think I had Aiden too. I had someone before him. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau, yeah, which went 5. He slipped all the way down. So this year...
It's not as stacked. Not top end, but a lot of depth.
Oh, my goodness. A lot of depth. There's going to be a couple guys that we're not going to have on our list. And better yet, a lot of guys that we're not going to talk about, potentially. And that doesn't mean that they're bad. That just means there's just so many guys that there's project guys. There's guys with that have been in college for so long, like 5-year senior, 6-year seniors actually, because of the whole like Rona
stuff, yeah.
So there's a lot of diversity in this class. Got tweeners, got some project guys, all that shit. Overall, though, I really love this class. I love the edge class. It has the gold mind of Will Anderson, I feel like, because a lot of these guys in this year's draft, like Jordan Addison, C.J. Stroud, Jackson Smith, Will Anderson, a lot of these guys had great years last year. And you were looking into this draft like, oh my God, like I can't wait for these guys to come out. They're going to be top end blue chip, can't miss prospects. Now, whether it was scheme of the team being bad for some of these guys, maybe it's a little bit of underwhelming for injuries.
Well, it always seems like in college, there's just times you're like, why are we playing this guy like this? Like, we have this freak of nature, and all we can do is say, hey, line up a D tackle. Like, let's Ed Oliver's prime example. He was like, hey, we need you to play nose tackle. Yeah. Ed Oliver's 285. You don't want that guy. He's the guy who like jumps gaps and just is disruptive. And there's a couple guys who I have questions about in this edge class. There's guys I like, and there's even like guys who we're not even going to get to talk about really. Like, I'll throw one out. Zach Harrison didn't make my list, but you're in third round. You need like a good pass rusher edge. Take a fire on him, and I think there's a lot of those type of guys.
Yeah, exactly. So our evaluation last year, my number one guy was Kayvon Thibodeau. Was yours Kayvon too? Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Trayvon Walker was 2.
I think Trayvon Walker was super high.
Aiden was 3.
Yeah, he was the Max Crosby comp. But pretty good years for all those guys, honestly, I would say. And this year, hopefully, have great years too. Let's go ahead and start it off, Max, because the audience is getting eager here. You want to go first, or you want me to say mine?
You say yours.
Okay. Number 1, Will Anderson. Number 2, Nolan Smith out of Georgia. B.J. Ojulari, number 3, out of LSU. Number 4, Lukas Van Ness. And number 5, Tyree Wilson.
Wow. Okay. So my number 1 is Will Anderson. 2, Myles Murphy from Clemson. 3, Nolan Smith. 4, Tyree Wilson. 5, B.J. Ojulari.
Wow. Myles Murphy, huh?
I like him a lot. I don't know what you don't like about him.
You know what? There's the 3 main guys on Clemson that
Brees, you got Trenton,
exactly, and Myles Murphy. So you had 3 guys this year that came into this year kind of high prospects, projected top 50 at least, and they all had underwhelming years in my opinion. But let's talk about the cream of the crop, bro. Let's go ahead and jump to number 1. We both have them at number 1, correct?
Yeah.
Willie, a.k.a. Willie Anderson, Alabama, 6'3", 253 pounds, 34-inch arms. Look, man.
4'6", 40.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I like it. He's not the guy. He's not the type of guy you think when you think of number one edge guys in the terms of physicality, like physical stuff. Because, and this isn't no shot at him, but we're used to the super freaks. He's not a super freak. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not Jadeveon Clowney. He's not Trayvon Walker, but he's really good. He's really, really good. I mean,
he's just one of these. It's kind of like Aiden Hutchinson last year. Natural guys.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a natural thing for him to rush the QB.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of bend. I think he has not Von Miller type bend.
Can we just stop comparing guys bend to Von Miller? Because I don't think that's a standard we're going to see, but once in a...
Right.
There's bend.
Yeah.
He has bend. But let's say Von's a 10. He's like an 8.
Yeah.
7.
And that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Just saying, no one's 10 but Von. Who are we going to say really bends the edge like Von Miller?
Nobody.
No, it's his thing.
Once in a generation.
Yeah.
Probably LT.
Yeah, LT.
Exactly. Once in a
Did they call it bend back then?
Cutting that edge.
Yeah, cutting that edge.
So I got bend on him. I feel like he has just enough speed. He has the strength. He's not one of these guys that have low strength because kind of has a little skinny legs to him, skinny calves.
Yeah.
Not big in the ass like they like to say.
No, not at all. He's a little on the light side for me. Like he's a lighter edge. Like we're gonna talk about guys like Tyree Wilson, like 280-pound edge rusher. Like wow, that's a big dude.
What'd you think of his first step? Because I thought it
Good
was
first
pretty,
step.
I thought it was pretty
step.
elite.
Yeah,
that was one of the most elite things that I've noticed about him. Very fluid, and to start it all off, like I said, natural instincts. I just feel like he's a natural at playing football as a defender. Like it doesn't look awkward. It doesn't look like he always depends on his physical traits of being an amazing athlete. I just feel like football becomes natural to him.
What I liked is when they used him on twists and stunts. Like he's so good at like maneuvering in traffic. Like he'll get skinny, he'll like blow through him. Like I watched a lot of the game against Kansas City, Cincinnati from last year, and I was like, wow, he was wreaking havoc on Desmond Ridder in that offense. And if you watch the 2022 film, I think I was left a little underwhelmed. I'm like, where is he? Like, where's this guy who just dominates? Yeah. And it is difficult to be a dominant edge player in college because it's not like the NFL. There's no drop back pass game. It's all like quick screens, bull crap. He does have good, what I would call speed to power. Like I don't think he's naturally the strongest dude in the world, but he's so fast. He sits up with that power. Like, do you think Von Miller is stronger than Khalil Mack? But you can kind of compare the power because Von has the speed.
Right.
That's what I like about him.
It's all about how you use everything in your tool belt. And for him, I think he is lacking some of the moves on the repertoire as a pass rusher. But I don't think that's bad. Like, I don't think any pass rusher in the last 10 years besides the Bosa brothers have came out like, oh my God, this guy's polished. This guy, he does everything. He does the swim. He does the spin, speed, the power, rip move. A lot of these
guys aren't hand technicians.
Exactly.
And, you're not going to really see that coming out of college unless you have a 4-year guy. And this guy's
I said, I think the last two that we've seen that have been technicians.
Nick and Joey Bosa.
Yeah, it's the Bosa brothers.
And I'm sure there's a few other guys, but then you're like, oh, those guys don't have the pedigree to be first-round picks. And, this guy has the athleticism, and he's got some room to grow. And I will say this. There's a few things, and these are the cons of them, and they're real knick-knack, really picnic. What is it called? Nitpicking, picnic. Nitpicking. He doesn't have the elite trait. He doesn't have just overwhelming power. He doesn't have the overwhelming first step. But he's got really good in pretty much everything. So there's really no weakness to him. But he doesn't have Von's first step or
I wouldn't
Von's
say
bend.
that though. I disagree. I think he has, like I said, that's the one thing I felt like that was elite to him first step. I think what you're getting into is the twitchiness. He doesn't have the twitch.
He's not twitched up. He's not, Trayvon Walker is a guy holy crap.
Right.
You're 6'6", you're 6'5", 280. You can bend. You can do all this. Nolan Smith's twitched. This guy's not. But it doesn't matter. He's still got, I always look at it there's a baseline of athleticism, and he's got plenty. Last year people were a little underwhelmed with Kayvon Thibodeau's athleticism, but he's another guy. Yeah. These guys are big. I think Kayvon's a little bigger than him, and I like Kayvon maybe a little more than Will coming out. And sometimes I saw this in Will, like, if you get a guy like a big tackle like Darnell Wright, who's super strong, he's just dead in his tracks. But you give him time to grow. I think Will Anderson, give him 10 pounds in the NFL. That's where you got to play at, dude.
And I think
little light in the butt. That's
I thought
it.
he held his own against a lot of good tackles. Like
he doesn't really lose. Right? He doesn't lose. It's not like you're not like, oh shit, well, he's on the edge. He's on the ground. He's not like that, which is good. But there's some stalemates, and if that's the worst you do is stalemate, you're pretty freaking good.
And I would say this, Max. A lot of people are gonna look at the 22 tape, like you said, and be like, where's the wow at? That's what I put in my notes.
A few times I'm like, can you take over the game?
Right.
Could you?
But last year he did.
Yeah,
he had the flash. He was like, oh my God, like this is number one pick easily.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I would kind of put it on Alabama. And not on the fact that they were bad or anything. Like their defense was still like pretty good. But I would say this, a guy like Trayvon Walker, right? In that Georgia scheme. What was his job, Max?
It wasn't always like, hey, let's just pin those years back and go get the edge.
Exactly.
He's got a little bit of that. You know, Alabama's changed a lot. It's not like the years where we have 6 first-round picks on our D-line and we're not letting them do it. But still, it's very nuanced to how they approach it. It's like, hey, we're going to just play the game and we're never going to like let him make a splash play. It's like we're going to control the game.
Well, he was just doing his job. He was doing the New England / Alabama thing. Like, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to set the edge. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stack up all these statistical sacks and tackles, and I'm not going to have the wild plays, but I'm doing my job.
Is he his own tier for you?
Yes. And I would put this on it. I think I've only had 2 blue chip guys as far as this recording.
Do you remember who they are?
Yes, John
Michael Schmitz. Yeah.
And Bryce Young.
What about Bijan? You don't have Bijan as because you said a running back. It's not really. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
But Will Anderson is another blue chip for me. I think maybe one of the corners, but I want to kind of take it away at some point because you asked me a question today about like last year's draft class and it was pretty hard. So I think this will probably be my last blue chip guy is Will Anderson. And I truly believe that. And I think put him in any scheme, 3-4, 4-3, don't matter. Put him anywhere. He's going to do his job. Is he going to be Von Miller, Khalil Mack? Maybe not. But you know what? Out of all the pass rushers,
I don't think that's fair to compare,
that's what he's going to be drafted to be, though.
Most first top 5 picks. Yeah, you want that. But let's be real. Most top 5 picks aren't Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And it's not always fair. But yeah, you want him to be that. He could be that.
I'm going to ask you this. Because this is what I love looking at for edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
And just any position in general that have 2 guys. Is he an alpha? And the question to that is, I mean, the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think he's the only alpha that I see out of all these guys that I can bet on of being the number 1 guy, and I can trust them by being that. All these other guys, I see him like, maybe he can be the number 1 pass rusher on his team, but is he? I don't think so. I think a lot of these guys are great Robins, great number 2s, like high-end number 2 guys.
There's only one other guy on my list that I think can really be there's 2 guys, maybe 2 guys, yeah. One of the guys is weird. One of the guys is a project on my list.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
So let's
player
go ahead
comp? Player comp?
Robert Quinn.
Ooh, like young Robert Quinn? Or
young Robert Quinn.
Like Fat Eagles Robert Quinn?
No, definitely not Eagles Robert Quinn. I would say like early St. Louis days.
He reminded me of Shaq Barrett, and he reminded me of Kayvon Thibodeau a little bit. The way they
got the skinny legs.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is for us.
I was like, wow.
We're looking for the guys who have like that speed to power and the skinny legs.
Like Kayvon Thibodeau too. I said last year he doesn't really have the elite trait. You're not like, wow, he ran 4.38. Nolan Smith. Right. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So where do you rank Will Anderson from last year if he's in last year's class?
As a prospect?
I rate him number 2. I got Kayvon still 1 for me.
I think I would put him above Aiden, so I'd make him 3, if I'm remembering how I did it correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm taking Will Anderson over Trayvon Walker.
I mean, look at Trayvon Walker run. Look at that body. Look at that guy's ass and legs.
That's what it is.
I know. It's fun.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. So your number 2 is
Myles Murphy. He's not on your list.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and talk about him. I'll give you some reasons why I didn't put him.
Okay.
Let's hear some pros.
Okay. first of all, when you think of an edge rusher, like imagine what he looks like. This guy looks like that. And I'm saying like, oh, he's got the look. It's the 6'4", 270, decent length, 33 in a 3/4 arms, whatever. He's freaking built. He's powerful.
Yes.
I think he's pretty quick for how big he is because this guy's almost 20 pounds heavier than Will Anderson, about the same height. He's not a guy I would say is the most bendy. He's got more power in his game than Will Anderson, in my opinion. He sets the edge in the run game beautifully. Great stunts. Sometimes he just, like, he doesn't kill the guy in front of him. Like, why don't you just, like, throw your big arm out, pick him up, like, forklift him?
Yeah.
And sometimes he doesn't always use his length. And I'm like, Clemson's always, to me, been a place where, hey, we're not always going to coach the guys up the most. We're like, hey, just go get the job done. And, yeah, was I scared of, like, oh, this guy might be Cleveland Farrell 2.0? A little bit, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But I think this guy's better than Cleveland Farrell, and he didn't have the luxury of playing with 3 NFL players in front. Brian Brees is good, but this isn't Dexter Lawrence. This isn't who's the guy from the Dolphins? Christian Wilkins. This isn't that.
Yeah.
And I just think that like the sky's the limit for this guy. If we just get him in there,
most definitely. I see what you see, Max. After all what I said, I put boomer bust. That's the way I see him. He's boomer bust kind of guy, but
I don't think the bust is really there because he never really lost. Like we said about Will Anderson. Like even when he loses, he's like it's just a stalemate. It's not like, damn, that guy got thrown into the next gap over. He's on the ground. He tripped the linebacker. It's an 80-yard gain.
I would say this though. This guy's gonna get drafted very high because of his physical attributes, but I really don't think he has it, man. He has some speed to power to me. Solid get off, solid everything really. It's
big thing that's lacking is bend.
Yeah, and to me, it's like what you said. Like it's the traits for him. Like what do you picture when you see a defensive end? It's him, 6'5", 268, like perfect.
He's
mass.
like a Josh Allen, Whitney Merciless type of guy because he's big. Yeah. He's pretty big. Like Will Anderson's like kind of the newer age guy, and like I don't think Will Anderson's. Well, he might be everyone's cup of tea, but there's like teams like the Ravens that love these big guys to come off the. This is a big dude coming off. Yeah. Not as big as like Tyree Wilson, but he's good. Like B.J. Ojulari is more in the mold of like Wenderson, where it's like 6'3", 250, cut up. Yeah. Nolan Smith, same thing.
Exactly. But I do actually have a pretty good comp for him.
Okay.
That I think fits him very well, and it's a player that I think is a touch overrated. Bradley Chubb. But some people think he's really, really good. He went for a first-round pick. So I do think that can be his potential. But like I said, he's going to get drafted very high because of his physical traits. And I think a team is going to have to either wait or not be happy with their results in about 3 years.
I don't see the buzz factor being as much as it's, and I think you have a little bit of Cleveland Farrell. Like,
but you know what, though?
Like scarred for life. I know
it's the Clemson shit, but I don't think he's nothing like Cleveland Farrell, honestly, because Cleveland Farrell didn't have nowhere near the physical traits that this guy has.
He had some length to him, and he had some good moments, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I like this guy a lot, Juan.
I can see it. I all respect to you because, like I said, I do see
like, I saw more on tape with him than I did a guy with Nolan Smith, granted, injured a lot, but, maybe we can choose into Nolan Smith, my number 3 guy, your number 2. Mm-hmm.
Who was your comp for?
Oh, I said I put Whitney Merciless or like a Josh Allen, similar physicals. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think he's as twitchy as Josh Allen coming out of Kentucky. So Nolan Smith, this is a guy who was a 5-star recruit, number 1 like guy in his class, something like that. Goes to Georgia, and he's literally played in the biggest stack D-line, Jordan Davis, Deontay Wyatt, Jalen Carter, the 2 edges, Trayvon Walker, Quay Walker, all these guys. Mm-hmm. This guy's a freak of nature.
6'2", 238, ran a 4.3, I believe.
4.39.
Right? 4.39.
Which is in the 99th percentile, 42-inch vert.
Insane.
Reminds me of me.
Fast. But you know what? He's one of these fast guys that's a natural athlete. It looks smooth to him. It doesn't look awkward. He doesn't look like one of these long guys that fucking running like a robot. You know what I mean?
No,
he looks like a natural athlete to me. Great hands to power. Lateral quickness out this fucking world. Like any.
It's like a running back.
Yeah,
like a running back. But he's huge.
Yeah, his feet are so smooth. love him on the backside. I felt like he made a lot of plays on the backside, chasing down backs. I love that about him.
I wish he didn't get hurt because I would have loved this scene because I feel like this was going to be the year because what I saw was like, damn, really good.
Yeah. Torres Peck last year.
Yeah.
Missed the rest of the season, basically. But one thing that I love about him, you say 6'2", 238. Oh, speed demon. This guy has no power to him. He doesn't want to take on motherfuckers. I beg to differ, bro.
No, he's physical.
He's physical, and he takes on these. He may not win all the time with these big guards, but you know what? You put a tight end on him, you get a little, small tackle. He's going to take him on, and he's going to show you some fucking power. And that's what I love about him. He's one of these fast guys that can show you, like, nah, like, I'm about it. I'm down to get dirty. I'm not one of these finesse motherfuckers. So I love that about him.
The only thing that is going to scare teams off, and it would scare me off, is one, he's never really put it all together. Doesn't have crazy length. He's only 6'2". He's 238, which means there's not many pass rushers lighter than him.
And like your number 2 guy, he doesn't have the mass. He lacks the mass. He's not big. He's more slender.
Oh, unlike Myles.
Unlike.
Yeah, sorry, I get you. Okay, so yeah. I mean, the one, his game is speed. His game is getting off. It's not just that he doesn't have power because he sets the edge in run game. He likes to do the dirty work. If I'm an NFL coach and I take this guy in the second round, high second round, I'm like, hey, let's put 10 pounds on you. We got to make you a little bit more immovable because there's times I've seen him get moved, but he's 238. This guy, my player comp, and I think it's a good one, is Vic Beasley coming out of Clemson. Remember how fast Vic Beasley was? He weighed in at 248, and it's like people said you were playing at 225, dude, at edge. Yeah. And Vic Beasley had some very successful years in the NFL. Nolan Smith, there's a path for him to be successful. I think he's high character, high IQ. He's going to be an NFL player for a long time, but will he be a star? More questions about him being a star than I do Myles Murphy.
Yeah.
But he's very good.
Yeah, I love this guy, man. We're talking about the speed. Put him in a 3-4 system. Let him play in space. Give the guy some space, and he's going to do fucking wonders for any team that drafts him, dude. And I'm not worried about him in the run game of him being small because I know he's willing to learn and get bigger and take on those big blocks. A guy that took a while to get going, he was kind of lost in the position.
And it's Georgia. They don't ask these guys to just say, run, go get them. It's like, hey, let's let our linebackers who are all first-round picks get there, keep the guys safe.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis is here. He's taking on 2 blockers. Jalen Carter didn't start last year or 2 years ago.
But my comp for him, a guy that I love now, and I know you absolutely fucking love. He was an all-pro this year, in our books at least. I don't even know if he really made it for the NFL. Hassan Riddick. Took him a while to get going, but, Hassan Riddick is one of these guys the last 2 years, and at least last year for sure, he has shown that speed to power. He's a, small guy in the ass, similar weight and height, but he gets the job done, and he wins with speed, man. So Hassan Riddick for me, hopefully it doesn't take him as long because he was kind of a positionless guy.
Hassan Riddick is 6'1", 237 coming out. 4'5", not even 4'3". Oh, slow.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the length. So, yeah, like I said, there's a path out there to be successful for Nolan Smith.
But it depends where you're going to put this guy. Like I said, put him in space. Hassan Riddick plays in space. I know Arizona was trying to try him with the fucking middle linebacker, outside linebacker.
Will, Sam, blah,
you know what
blah,
I mean?
Yeah.
Put this guy in space, put him on the edge, let him chase down shit, let him fucking get the pass, get the quarterback on pass rushes, let him work like that. So, number 2, Nolan Smith is my guy out of Georgia, man.
Okay, I like it. So we've covered my top 3. Who's your 3? BJ?
My 3 is BJ. Where do you have BJ? Fourth. Okay.
No, 5. Sorry.
Yeah,
5.
You're 5. Wow.
Okay.
So big discrepancy right there.
The 2 numbers isn't big, but yeah, okay.
So where do you put these guys in tiers?
I put Will
in his own tier?
No, I put Will and Myles together. But Will's a little bit ahead. Like Will's like a 95, Myles is like an 88. But I don't think Will's like this can't miss guy.
Because I got 3 tiers here. I got Will Anderson in his own, Nolan Smith in his own, and then everybody else is kind of on the same boat. I think all these guys.
It's weird because a guy like Tyree Wilson is just You could put him in Will Anderson's because it's just like, wow, this guy is unbelievable. Yeah. But I don't think he's so much more raw and exactly.
So the next 3 guys that I have, BJ, Lukas, and Tyree, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because all these guys are projects and they wow you like the. But
I don't think BJ's he's a project in terms of being a star. But worst case, he's an NFL player for like 7 years who gets you 6 or 7 sacks. I mean, player comp, spoiler alert, Azeez Ojulari, brother. This guy he looks like Caleb on Chase on at LSU wearing the 18. He's not the biggest. He's 6'2", 248, might be kind of on the, let's be like, hey, I bulked up a little bit. But this guy has good length, really long arms for his size, knows how to rush. He's a football player. Great bend. He's a little undersized, like I said, but he's got speed to power. And then sometimes he's just inconsistent. That's why I have him at 5. And I'm like, I really want to like him, and I think he will be solid. This is a guy I see being more solid than a star in the NFL. Yeah. Not impossible for him to have a good year or two, but you think this guy's going to be a number 1 pass rusher? I think top end too.
Yeah, he's going to be a great Robin. He's going to be a great number 2 guy, kind of like Azeez. I think that's his ceiling. Like, that's what he's become for the Giants. He's just great number 2 guy to have. You know, never going to be that number 1 alpha dude.
Azeez, last year, 5.5 sacks. The year before that, 8 sacks. That's really good. That's a good number 2.
Exactly. But same thing with Nolan Smith. That's similar to BJ. They both have a little bit of power to them, as small as they are. They're willing to take on stuff, unlike some of these other guys in this class who are very small, like spoiler alert, Will McDonald. Like, I don't think he doesn't want any of that smoke, you know? No. BJ and Nolan, they're willing to take on some smoke. So I respect guys like that. Like, okay, I know you're small, I know you're thin. At least be willing to. That's what I want to see. And he's willing to. He's one of the best when it comes to just rushing the passer. That's another thing with him. It's like the other part of his game of being in the run, he's just not that good. He really doesn't know what he's doing out there, honestly.
No. He's a pass rusher.
That's what he's
a pass rusher.
Yeah. So, like, at worst, you draft this guy, and 3rd down, put him in. Go fucking chase the run.
Yeah, I think that's what you draft. This guy's not a 1st-round pick to me. 2nd, 3rd-round pick.
Early second,
yeah.
Okay.
Anytime the 2nd, I'm happy with him.
Maybe somebody slide that 5th year. They want him for 5.
Yeah, maybe
32. Pick 32.
I did what I think. This isn't what I think is gonna happen in the draft because my number 5 guy or my number 4 guy, Tyree Wilson. I think he's gonna be in a 1st-round pick. He's a lock. That's just how I think.
That's just the traits.
Just the traits. And
who was your comp for BJ? You said Azeez, his brother, right?
Yeah, or Caleb on Chase on.
Yeah,
guys like that.
I got Leonard Floyd. I think just a slender guy.
God, if he could be Leonard Floyd was really good.
Yeah, and you know what? Leonard Floyd, he was
top end too.
Yeah, exactly. But he was drafted to be number 1. But you know what? He fit into number 2. He helped the Rams win a Super Bowl.
At times was a borderline like, hey, this guy can really watch out.
Yeah. So BJ Ojulari, number 3 for me. Who's your number 4?
Tyree Wilson.
Let's go ahead and talk about him because I got him number 5, and then we'll go into my number
Lukas.
4. Okay. So Tyree Wilson.
Is this guy an edge his whole career, or is he coming inside a little bit? Because just to spoiler this, 6'6", 271 pounds, 35 and 5/8 arm, which is 96 percentile. This is just traits. I don't love his attack, like when he rushes, because I'm like, what are you doing?
He's violent.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just gonna. This guy's in my way. Get out of here.
I put straight bull rush in your face every time.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 35.5-inch arms.
And they think if he would have ran, like he was gonna tear it up too, because he's huge, 70 pound as an edge.
But with him being that big, I don't think he has much bend.
No
bend at all. No.
I put almost too big to be an edge.
Yeah. And he's not technically sound. I think that's the big difference.
We should say, when you were talking, I'm sorry, you talked about Bosa's coming out.
Right.
8 and 2 had the moves, but he doesn't have this guy. No. This guy's lean.
And I think that's the big difference when I kind of laugh when people compare him to Will Anderson. Like, I think Will Anderson's on a whole different planet. I
don't think Tyree's in the planet. Yeah. Traits wise, you could say, he has better traits than Will Anderson.
It's all about the traits, man. That's what it's all about. And it was too big for me to not have him on the list. I was going back and forth. Spoiler alert: Will McDonald was my 6.
So this guy, when he like wins against the blocker, like guys, it's not like some guys win. It's like real close. This guy wins. It's like holy crap, he just annihilated the dude in front of him. He has a really good motor for a guy who's like really high pedigree. But he doesn't have the best first step because he's so big. He's just so big, and you almost worry about how like high he plays. Sometimes they get under him, and he's 6'6". And I like there's a guy line him up on the guard on third down, kick him inside. He can do that.
Does he go top 10? Is there a chance?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think there's a chance.
Well, I guess there's a chance, but I would realistically say 80% chance outside the top 10. My own opinion.
Like, let's just say Houston picks him up. You know,
at 2?
No, with their second pick. I think they have the 9th overall pick.
The Eagles pick him up at 8 or whatever.
I mean, why not? You know, you guys already have physical freaks. It seems like
that'd be pretty good.
Uh,
my comp is like Gregory Rousseau because Gregory Rousseau is just a huge dude.
Yeah,
but he's bigger than Gregory Rousseau.
It was hard for me, but
not a lot of 6'6" edges in the league.
Trey Hendrickson.
He's like bigger. He's so much bigger than Trey.
I know. It was hard.
I like it though.
But
similar bodies.
Similar game.
Yeah, similar game.
It's all power. You know, hopefully he can get to the point where Trey Hendrickson is at now because he has a lot more moves to his repertoire. But Trey Hendrickson, for me, a guy that just uses power. You know? Look, I think he's going to go high.
Yeah, first, I said he's my 5th favorite guy or my 5th ranked guy. But he's for sure going higher than the 3 and 4.
I think he's going to go top 15 at the least. That's just my opinion. He's 6'6", 271. People are going to love the traits. They're going to fall in love with him. And I think it's going to be a mistake. They're going to overdraft him. And he's not an alpha to me. He's a project guy. I would draft him in the low end first round. Any pick after, 18.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's my range. 15 on. It's like, yeah, you take a swing at him.
Yeah.
If you got 2 first round picks, take a swing.
Yeah.
If I'm the Raiders and I have another first round pick, I'm like, yeah, take a swing.
Right. But Tyree Wilson, man, out of Texas Tech, Max's number 4, my number 5. Okay, let's go over a guy that you didn't have on your list.
Very close to making it. A lot to like, to not like.
Lukas Van Ness, okay, out of Iowa, 6'5", 272. This guy's a fucking gladiator, bro. The way that he fucking plays. He plays with a bunch of fucking strength. I think he's a freak athlete.
Yeah, he's because he's white,
Yeah, exactly. People are gonna be like, "Oh, junkyard guy."
Yeah.
But no, he's a freak athlete, bro.
Real strong, really good athlete, good length.
Has get off. I think he has speed to power. He has that ability, and let's just talk about it.
He can't even start on his own college team. Juan. How's he going to play in the NFL? He can't start for an NFL team. He can't even start in college.
And a lot of these guys, you got to take it with a grain of salt with the PFF stuff, and a lot of these guys have win rates.
This guy's playing like D tackle.
Yeah.
Why? He's not.
Right.
Put him at edge.
But when he did play on edge, and
he was good.
He
reminds me of Trey Hendrickson too.
He was fucking amazing.
Yeah, really good.
He beat the shit out of anyone that was in his path when he was just like, let me rush the passer. So Luke Van Ness, some of the cons for him, okay? Limited film, playing time, obviously.
Yeah.
Not as good in the run. He's not. You would think a guy that big, he's not that good in the run. Weak bend, that comes with...
I don't think he'll ever have the bend.
Yeah.
I think because he's too big and, his hand usage is not really what I would say is ideal, but he's so raw. You're drafting this guy, and in a year or two, he might be the best pass rusher on your team. That's the ceiling for this guy. Will he get there? I don't know, but, Trey Hendrickson stayed on the bench in New Orleans for how many years? 4?
Right.
Started popping, and then went to Cincinnati, and he's been really good for them. So, this guy, my player comp was Trey Hendrickson. He was like a guy you kind of you stash for a year, let him develop. Because if you tell me next year he's going to have 10 sacks, I'd be like, no way. This guy's too raw.
I feel like he's staring at you at the face in the second round, and you do it.
Yeah.
You do it. I don't think you touch this guy in the first round. Hopefully he doesn't get overdrafted like that, because you hit it right on the nose. I got the same thing. He's a wait-and-see guy, but you cannot deny his profile and just flashes on tape, bro. It's phenomenal. It's fucking great. If he would have started and he had more reps, I do think he will almost be in like that tier 1 with Will Anderson. That's how like big I think this guy's traits are. Yeah, like he's really
he might have better traits than Will Anderson, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Better physical tools and traits, but there's just he's missing just the skill.
Yeah. And the flashes that I do see, and that's what I'm basing this off of, and it's a guy that took a little bit of time too, Rashawn Gary. I think he has the ability like Rashawn, bro.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's very good. Yeah, he's going to need some time on. That's for sure.
Most definitely.
And some good coaching to like, hey, you don't have to play D tackle every play. That'd be nice. You know.
Yeah, Iowa's Iowa. Okay, anyone else on number 6 or number
I touched Lukas was 6. Touched on it. Zach Harrison might be a really good player. He's huge, 6'5", 275, 36-inch arms. It's like crazy length. I think he'll be a solid day 2 pick.
I wanted to talk about Will McDonald from Iowa State. I'm actually shocked that you didn't have him on your list.
I'm changing one. I'm changing.
You are changing. This is.
He's too small. He's too small.
You didn't say that about what's his name?
Odafe.
Yeah.
No, Odafe is just nice.
But this guy's 6'3", 241. You talk about crazy athlete, 35-inch arms. He's fast. He is almost the same as like Nolan Smith, like the whole like in space. And
just so you know, Odafe was 25 pounds heavier than this dude. Yeah.
And that's kind of the
crazy length, though. Had really
crazy length. But this is kind of what it is with a lot of these prospects. It's always the size that comes into play. Good use of hands, a great get off, speed. He has a knack for causing fumbles that I've seen. The thing that it's all about, the lack of power, like you said, the
He's
weight.
Skinny, so
and
skinny.
What did it for me is when you get a project guy like this, you're hoping that he's 22, maybe 21 years old. He's 25 years old, Max.
Is he really? I thought he was 23.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. He's a little bit on the older side. Please confirm that for me because that's what I read up on. But that kind of scares me because he's a project guy. So the clock is kind of ticking on him, So that's why I picked Wilson over McDonald. I wanted to have McDonald on here, but I couldn't do it.
He'll be 24 at the start of the season.
Okay. So 24 years old, still old.
A little old for an NFL player.
Yeah.
As a rookie.
And especially for a guy that needs to be, there already at that age. You want to see a little bit more.
Yeah, if you're 24, you think he's really going to gain 20 pounds of muscle? Like, you're kind of already there.
But my comp for him was a guy who's steadily improved every year, and the Raider drafted him, Arden Key, who has earned himself a pretty good contract.
Yeah,
had a great year with the Jags last year. So Arden Key for him.
Is he on the Niners?
He was on the Niners, but he was on the Jags last year. And then now he's with the...
I think he's with the Niners now, ain't he?
Is he? No, he didn't go back to the Niners. He went somewhere else. I want to say he went to...
Titans.
Yeah, now he's in Tennessee.
And this is a guy with a really good pedigree coming out of college. And I remember saying, I'm like, hey, if I'm the Raiders, I'll take Arden Key in the first. You guys got him in the third. Yeah. He's good.
Exactly.
Has some off the field stuff, but
yeah,
I like it.
Another guy that I want to mention that I absolutely loved. He's kind of a tweener. Not my cup of tea typically, but I really love this dude because he wins. He wins his matchup straight up. It's not the prettiest. It's not the flashiest. Felix Uzama from K-State, 6'3", 255 pounds. Not going to wow you with his body or burst overall, just crazy athlete. Oh, my God, look at me. But he's a natural pass rusher, bro. He wins his matchup. He's an ascending player. He's been getting better every game, it seems like. If you go in order on how you watch him, he's just getting better and better each game, I feel like. And I feel like in the next level, someone put him in a way better situation than he was in college. He can flash for you. I think he's one of these guys that can go in the third round and really have some success. My comp to him, Carl Lawson.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, he was good for me. He's really not the master of anything, but he's good all across the board. No true weakness.
Yeah.
No true weakness.
So I think that's going to do it for edges.
Yeah, you want to recap our list?
Let's go ahead and recap it. So number 1, I got Will Anderson. Number 2, I got Nolan Smith. Number 3, I got B.J. Ojulari. Number 4, I got Lukas Van Ness. And 5, Tyree Wilson.
My Will Anderson 1, Myles Murphy 2, Nolan Smith 3, Tyree Wilson 4, 5, B.J. Ojulari 1. I have some superlatives for you.
Okay.
Who's got the best power?
Lukas Van Ness. For sure. Fucking gladiator.
I want Tyree Wilson.
Tyree Wilson, huh?
Best speed?
Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Nolan Smith too. Kind of easy one. Highest ceiling.
Man, this one's close. I want to say Lukas Van Ness, but I'm gonna go with Will Anderson.
I want Tyree Wilson again. Most pro ready. I'm going to go with Will Anderson.
Pro ready.
Or day one impact. Yeah.
Will Anderson. Might be B.J. Ojulari though.
Could be. Below. Biggest boomer bust.
Tyree Wilson.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. A lot of Tyree Wilson for me on this one.
I think that's gonna do it. Though.
I don't think this edge was as well. I think this was just as interesting as
There's
last
a lot
year.
of guys.
How many edges went in the first round last year? A lot, right?
Well, at least 3. I know Kayvon, Aiden, Trayvon. Raiders didn't draft one.
Who'd you guys draft?
Nobody. We didn't have a first round pick. Devontae.
Jeez, tough. So we had Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau. Might be it. Wow.
Is that it?
That's it, I think, for the first round. Oh, Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson for the Jets.
George Karlaftis.
Chiefs. He went in the first round?
30th pick.
Wow. Yeah, that Jermaine Johnson's looking kind of shaky, honestly.
Yeah.
But first year guy. Might be in the Rodgers trade. You never know.
Throw him out. Throw him out.
But that's going to do it, folks. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the Edge prospects. We're excited, man. Make sure to join us on the day of the draft. We're going to be live streaming all the first round picks like we have been the last 2 years. This is our 3rd year, 3-year anniversary. We love doing this, man. We love doing the draft. Takes a lot of work, a lot of fucking sleepless nights. Film. Yeah, it's a lot, man, and it's super hard for guys like me and Max. We're just bona fide fans of the game, man. We're using YouTube. We're using any film that we can get. We don't have the black market of the all 22 for all these guys. I did my best to show some of the all 22 for you guys on the screen.
We're experts. Stop saying that. We're the best. Never got to pick wrong.
All I know is if anyone has a connect for an all 22 for college film, please let us know.
Yeah.
Please hand that over.
Who do we have to screw to get at? Yeah. I use my body. Want to pay for it.
Oh my goodness. All right. So that's going to do it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. Whoever you think, who's your number 1? Are we tripping? You guys agree? Whatever the case is, go ahead and comment down below. We'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Peace.